Welcome to the channel. Apologies for the lack of stuff I've been putting out the last 2 weeks. Things have been super busy. I won't bore you, but just been very, very busy. Anywho, that said, a few weeks back, a small seed was planted into this little, very easily led, fickle brain of mine because I was watching the Tour de France, which then made me just get back out on my bike, which has now led me to do this video, which is going to be about the physical but also the mental benefits of using cycling, like long duration cycling, good 2-3 hours, as a part of your training regime for ultra running. So say if you've got an event coming up in 2-3 months, and whether you can possibly not necessarily substitute, but really use those cycling long endurance based sessions to fit in as a great tool to be on course for a successful ultramarathon running, that is. So as said, a few weeks back I watched a very interesting documentary on Netflix on the Tour de France, which you should definitely watch if you haven't watched it, and it got me thinking about my bike. So I'm not majorly techie on the bike, but I do have a decent bike which I'll run through in a second, but all I have done is change the tyres from a very wide 44mm tyre with the tread to a nice 32 Gravel King slick, which is obviously making the road resistance much easier, much less road resistance, therefore you can go faster. The bike's are also a little bit lighter, about 200 grams per wheel lighter, and it just feels really, really nice. Super quick rundown of my bike. It's a Cannondale Topstone 1. All I've done is just change the back wheel here to a DT Swiss LN, which is actually discontinued now, but that was only a couple £100, nice and steady, and everything else is almost the same apart from the tyres. That's it. Oh, I changed the handle grips as well here to go green because I like the colours, and that's it. But what is interesting to see is how in the last couple of weeks my cycling's gone up. So last week was 200 kilometers and about 50 kilometers of running, which is not bad actually, and that running is still decent effort, but I'll go into all the physical and the mental benefits of, well, what I think and why I think cycling is really a useful, effective tool for your training.
Okay, so the thing is, when you take a day off the running and go cycling, you wake up the next day when your run is, and you're looking forward to it much more mentally because, well, you haven't done it for the day, so the day before. So in regards to how I think it impacts you mentally, it just gives you the sort of fresh feeling in your mind to get back out there again, and you look forward to it just that little bit more, which is handy. So then you can go running through brambles again, if you so wish. The other cool thing is basically it gives you more confidence to go far, because when you cycle you can get out there for 4 or 5 hours or 3 or 4 hours or 2 or 3 hours. It makes the runs that are shorter feel much easier. So the hour runs feel like half an hour, the 2 hour runs feel like an hour, just because your overall concept of going longer and further has increased. Therefore you just get a nicer, better perception and rate of exertion. So your overall rate of exertion feels much less because, yeah, you're just used to being out there for longer, more often, if that makes sense. So when you go for that sort of 2 hour run, it doesn't feel as bad as it used to 6 months ago. It feels more like an hour and a half. The whole time concept thing has changed slightly because when you're out on the bike, you can go further, you can go longer, and you can do that more often, and it doesn't smash your body up either. So that's the other mental aspect, benefit of cycling. Right, I've got to finish this run. Alright, so 44 minutes into it, just whipped down to Dorking, and now I'm about to head up this quite a well-known climb up to Ranmore Common. So I haven't done this one for a while, so hopefully it should be a good ride. Ooh, it's a tough old climb, but it's a good one. So just cruising past Ranmore Common, you can't really see it, but it's a nice smooth road.
Okay, so I've just got back from another run. Today's Wednesday, really good run. I'll talk about it in 1 second. But just to clarify what I was talking about on the Monday run, it was just the idea of that you have more want, more mental excitement, more willpower to get out on that run if you haven't run the day before. So I think it's that sort of variation. It just it tops up your want to get out there on the trails. But today was more about the physiological side because I cycled yesterday and it was a really nice bike ride, and actually I got my PRs in my Ran More Common thing that I've mentioned earlier where I was there. That was a success. But today I ran for 11 kilometers, but pretty hard in some spots. But I did notice my heart rate was a little bit lower than it normally would have been. My feet, my legs felt lighter and stronger because of just, I guess, not that daily smashing grind. So the cycling gives you a physiological recover. You can recover from the running the day before, but still ticking along, building up that engine, building your fitness and everything. So it just gives your legs a break from the mega impact of that continual running. I will stress one major point that I haven't said yet. If your goal is to be extremely successful and your main goal is that to win or to be in the top 10 of the ultra races or the running races, whatever it is, then obviously this sort of thing doesn't apply because specificity is key. So if your main goal is to do as best you can at running, then you'll want to run as much as you possibly can with maybe 1 or 2 tops cross-training days. But like me, I'm someone who wants to do pretty well, but I also really love doing loads of other things like cycling and gym stuff. Therefore, I think it's quite a nice way just to mix everything in. I still want to do pretty well. Top 10 would be great, top 20, but I know that I'm certainly not going to win these things, and especially not top races. I'm just not that good at all, nowhere near that good. But I do love to do it, and I do love to give it my all. So I just wanted to make that point clear. Okay, so just to clarify, the mental, psychological sort of reasons why I think cross-training, especially cycling, is so good, because it just means that A, you're refreshed mentally to run more that day that you haven't run the previous day. B, the cycling gets you used to going far longer, so you're mentally able to sort of deal with the longer runs. I think they it puts them into, just makes them more relative and just puts them into comparison. So you just feel like a 2-hour run doesn't feel as bad. And so the other one is the idea of basically, when you get on the bike, you can go further, and therefore you can see much more sort of new things. So there's a lot more sort of new mental stimulus coming in, and I think new things and novel things, and seeing, it's just really good for the brain. So those are the 3 mental aspects. The 3 physical aspects are: A, it works pretty much all the same muscles that running does, so you're going to get that good stimulus for your glutes, the hamstrings and quads. B, it works your engine, the heart, the lungs, so it's going to increase the mitochondria, energy blocks. C, you can go further for longer, and actually at a lower intensity, so it can help your body's ability to sort of utilize fat as fuel more. D, it's less, I suppose, impact on the body, so less impact on the joints and bones, so you can recover quicker and you can do more of it. And then E, your running is also fresher, so the days that you run, you feel stronger and your legs don't feel as heavy, let's say, because I just don't necessarily think there's such a thing as a recovery run. I think a recovery bike is much, well, for me anyway, is a much sort of more useful tool. All that said, the importance of running is absolutely crucial. If obviously, for 1,000 different reasons, you can't just cycle and do a 100k ultramarathon running. You have to run lots to be able to do that as well. So you still have to get a good, decent amount of running in there as well. All I'm suggesting or saying is that actually to complement your running, you can throw in some good sessions on the bike, maybe 2 or even 3 a week. Slightly reduce the amount of running you're doing, maybe from 100 to 80k or 80 to 60k, and chuck some more bike stuff in there as well. But what I am doing is using, when I go for walks with the dog, I'm sticking my rucksack on and putting some weight in there to make sure that I'm still getting that bone strength and density impact on the joints and the bones and everything with the weight-bearing exercises of all the walks, heavy weighted, and obviously in the gym, squats, kettlebells, etc., etc., etc. Right, I'm going to leave it here. Thanks very much for watching this. Apologies for the lack of content in the last couple of weeks. I will try and get much more up. As I said, things have been super busy, but hope that helps. Hope that's, that might be of interest. It really helps me. It's really helped me, I think, just for all these different reasons. But as I said, I love doing all sorts of different exercises. I love the mix of everything. So it might not suit you. You might just want to run and run and run, which is cool. All I'm just suggesting is that, it could help you. And just, I found those mental sort of benefits help me, and also the physiological point of view, just when the legs aren't as heavy. But anyway, I won't go on about too much. Again, thanks very much for watching. Please click that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and please leave some comments below if you guys are doing a sort of similar thing in regards to your training, whether you're running and cycling lots, or whether you're just mixing it up with lots of other different things. And if there's any new stuff in there that I haven't mentioned, please let me know below. Right, take care, see you soon, thanks for watching, that's it, I'm out, bye.